Evening everyone, thought I'd do another video. Sorry that I haven't done any updates for a very long time. It's kind of slipped my mind. I've tried to help those around me to make decisions that could benefit them and become more self-reliant and not be so dependent on a consumer-based world. So it's something that is very important to me because I want people to flourish and survive and overcome whatever hurdles life throws at them. So I'm just going to throw out a few tips that could help you in the long run. So I'll start off with food. So I find that if you're able to have a months, let's say 6, 7, 8 a year's worth of supply of food, that gives you plenty of time to adjust your lifestyle to suit the current times. So if you don't know how to grow a garden, it's going to be very difficult for you to try and grow a garden within a week because you've ran out of food. So it's best to have a plan. So you have food available and you can slowly adapt to that plan by growing some vegetables or fruit, and so by the time you run out of your supplies, you've got food to harvest. So some of the food that I have collected over a course of years, if not months, just rotating and eating and rotating and trying and stuff like that. So I started with the oils. We want raw oils. We don't want vegetable oils. We don't want canola oils. We don't want any of those processed oils because they're actually going to create a lot more health issues than actual benefit for you. So we want things like coconut oil, we want olive oil, as they are high in fat. We want to burn fat, we don't want to burn sugar. Sugar is quick energy. We want to have long-lasting energy. And so per meal, you get a lot more fat than most other food out there. It's a good idea to stock up on some of those raw virgin oils. Another thing is your ancient grains. So you don't want processed rice or wheat. You want to have food that is very nutritious for you. So brown rice, lentils, oats is a really good one. Quinoa, beans. These things are gonna give you a lot of boost in stressful times. You can have less of it and it'll take you a lot further than having something that is highly processed. And it's, I guess when it comes to canned food, if that's what you can afford at the time, then go for it. But most grains, it is affordable if you buy, 1 or 2 of these or 5 of these if you can afford it. Each week. You don't want to clean the shelf out. You want to leave as much as you can and your fair share, so other people can also collect food. The second thing I find would be the most beneficial is to get a collection of books. So we don't know if the internet's going to last, and if there is a blackout or whatever, you can sit there and read and learn and apply those knowledges that you got on your bookshelf. So things like medical symptoms or herbal identification, so you are able to find ways to dealing with the common cold or infections and other things that won't be readily available at your local pharmacy. You also want bush survival books as well. There's quite a few of them, but you want to tend to go for bush survival books that are kind of more tailored to your geographical area. So me being in far north Queensland, I wouldn't go looking for survival books for the Arctic, so choosing your books wisely is most important because you'll be saving yourself money that could be invested into other things. This also goes for plant identifying books. So obviously you can buy books that are a bit more broad. So we do have quite a lot of introduced species of plants. So that will be coming under things like how to identify weeds, for instance. So that is one way you can go at it, or you can get identification books that are more tailored to your area. So me being far north Queensland, there's quite a few books out there that help me identify my local flora. But the best advice I could give you is to make sure you have multiple books so you can cross-reference, because it does become very overwhelming to pinpoint what is the key identifying part of that plant, and quite often you need to wait for the flora to flower or fruit to be able to identify that. So if you're able to cross-reference, you can cross out, eliminate certain species, because it's one particular species of a genus could be highly toxic to you, while another could be provide you with lots of nutrients. Also, find indigenous preparation books. So a lot of these plants can be, plucked from a tree and eaten, while others need to be leached in water for 24 hours and then roasted in a certain way. So it is very important to find these books that can provide you as much detail as possible in terms of how to pinpoint the exact species, and that is crucial. It is crucial that you know the exact species of a plant and how to process that plant. Another thing too is medical kits. So I'm waiting for a emergency dental kit to come through, and I thought I could go cheap and buy the cheapest one, but if I'm going to be my own dentist, I want to make sure that I've got the right tools, the right knowledge and resources. So I spent a $400 on an emergency dental kit that comes with lots of different resources. So I'll do an unveiling of that one when it arrives, hopefully tomorrow, and I'll also do one of my books as well. And medical supplies, you want to make sure that you have lots of antibacterial, antifungal. Coming back to the coconut, that could be another good one for you guys. But yeah, hydrogen peroxide. If you got the, was it 3%? Yeah, 3%. It's probably back to front for you guys. 3% hydrogen peroxide. That is awesome. I get eczema, right? So I'm constantly using cotton bud tips and dipping it on the wound, because I want to preserve as much as I can of the hydrogen peroxide. It is also amazing if you use it as a mouthwash. It can really help limit the possibilities of infection in the mouth. Probably one of the most incredible findings I've ever found is this essential oil called Kanzia Essential Oil. It's from Tasmania. I'd love to find out what species it is and know if I can have if there's any genuses, if there's a genus up in far north Queensland that I can also use. So genus being the kind of like the last name, and the species is the first name. So I want to find Kanzia and the species, whatever species it could possibly be. But yeah, this Kanzia, the genus that's from Tasmania, I can't remember what species. Anyway, that kills 99.9% of golden staph. So if you run short on antibiotics, which I highly recommend you use that as the last resort, because you want to have a really good healthy gut system, and if you take an antibiotic you have to rebuild everything again, and it's in tough times you don't necessarily have the resources to go down the shop and get supplements and this, that and other. So the Kanzia is awesome at removing golden staph. It's resistant to antibiotics. So yeah, it's a really awesome little essential oil, um, clothing as well. I mean, clothes itself, I guess we can always repair, but I mean, in terms of something like our feet are our souls, our ways of moving around. So please get something that is going to protect your feet. Something that's going to last a long time. Yeah, something that's not going to fall off your feet, because or unless if you can adjust yourself to walk around barefoot, but you need something that's going to be resilient. Gloves as well, protecting your hands. Sturdy clothes. You need sturdy clothes. But it all comes down to, look, guys, if shit hits the fan, bug in. Your house is the safest place, yeah? Your house has got a roof, it's got walls, it's got all your food, all your supplies. Bug in until you know that it's not safe, then you bug out. Bugging out is the last resort, yeah? So you may have your bug out bag, but do you have a bug in house? So make sure that your fortress is ready, yeah, for whatever comes. Make sure you communicate with your neighbours, build that bond, because right now this division is creating a lot of mistrust in one another. I hear families they can't even trust each other's families. So look, if you can build a resilient community, then when shit does hit the fan and people are a bit more on edge, at least they know that they can trust their neighbours. And that comes down to if you can connect with your neighbours by saying, hey, let's help each other out by building a garden bed or growing veggies. Find that common ground, and try not to bring up so much of this COVID thing, because I think that's what triggers people, because we're all in somewhat of a mass psychosis right now. So you need to alleviate these stresses by finding something that is more productive and takes the mind off these edgy times. Yeah, so find something to bring a smile to people's face. Remember that you got to show that you love them, that you respect them, and that you'll be there for them. All right, because at the end of the day, your neighbour's going to be there for you if you're there for them. All right, you guys stay safe, and I'll keep you posted.